back in.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Drawing with Drew.
With Dawn with Dude.
Dawning with Dude.
I said Dawn with Dude.
How you doing today, dude?
Dawning. Dawning
Dawn
with Dude.
with Dude. Hi, dude.
I like that.
Dawn with Dude.
Anyways, we're here.
We are here, and we were talking before we came on the air. We were like, well, what do we want to discuss today? That's how little we plan these things out ahead of time. And
start doing shit.
Yeah, and I mentioned that I do a pro wrestling show over on my YouTube channel, which is Chamber 525.
You know, I always wondered, where did the name Chamber 525 come from?
I'm not getting into that one again. But listen, okay, so it was back in college, and we decided to... God damn it, every time. Anyway, I do a wrestling show, and while I might not keep up with a whole lot of today's pro wrestling, I do know...
Cena?
Cena?
Cena.
You can't see me. That is a current wrestling reference.
We're on that level.
Yeah, okay, so you do understand John Cena.
Yeah.
But I'm more of a classic guy, the old 90s, because that was whenever I was really into it. But I guess segue into today's stuff. This Sunday, I don't know when this is actually going to air, but this Sunday, it's the 15th now, we're recording, so whatever that Sunday's going to be. Or no, it's tonight.
Oh, shit.
Tonight's the...
You didn't know?
No, I didn't know. But they're having another title unification match in the WWE. There's 2 world titles. Apparently, the writers are getting really burnt out with the storylines. This is actually reported that they're getting burnt out, and so they want to merge them together so that they don't have to focus on 2 world champions anymore. So they're having the unification match again. Which
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
They still have the WCW title?
They call it the World Heavyweight Championship, but yeah, it's the WCW World title.
Jesus.
Crazy world we live in.
Yeah. But, so... Going back, I did a show this week talking about, what are some of our favorite World Heavyweight Championship matches in the past, whether it's WCW, my phone just went off, ECW, WWF, any of that. And so, my buddies and I that do the show came up with some interesting choices. And I guess I bring it to the floor here with you guys. I'm not exactly sure how big you are into pro wrestling, but...
Really
my
big.
favorite match was, of course, Donkey Kong versus Guile, which is being traded right now.
With some giant tits, I might add.
Boobies. Anyways,
But
our favorite matches.
your favorite world title matches, if you can name one.
Well, yeah, that's gonna be the question. Like, okay, so I can't exactly remember, because I used to watch it. Let's say, when was it? Was it
was
middle
like
school?
2000,
Maybe
around 2000, right?
even
Only one
through
I
high school.
remember was the 2001 with The Rock and Stone Cold.
Oh, that was such a great. Like, I loved that.
With the Limp
I-
Bizkit theme song.
At WrestleMania.
Because I used to hate.
Highway with a highway!
I used to really hate Stone Cold. Like, I really hated him.
Yeah, he was a great villain.
Which I don't think he was the villain,
Yeah,
right?
he was the anti-hero. He was what everybody.
But like
rooted
The
for.
Rock, I remember The Rock played the heel for a little bit. I
He
think.
was always a heel. He was
Not always. Not when he first showed
He
up.
was a people's
Well,
champion.
when he
right?
first
What?
showed up, he was the goody two shoes,
Yeah.
and then everybody
Yeah.
hated him. Then that's when he turned heel.
Dirt. But fucking Stone Cold, I mean.
So we hated
That's all I remember,
Stone
but-
Cold so much that we made Mario do the backwards flicking people off
Oh yeah,
and rolling backwards.
There was
and,
a
Mario's tail.
period of time where
I remember when he broke his neck. That was
Yeah.
Stone
sad.
Cold, he was mentally injured for a while. And
He
he
was-
was playing on ukulele.
Oh, he turned because in 2001, 2002 he was injured, so he came out trying to do humor bits, and that was because he
Yeah,
couldn't
he-
actually wrestle.
He's a great comedian. He should have gone on the road with that.
No, actually, he did. He started doing film.
Yeah, he's an actor now.
Actually, I heard his last role. He was actually pretty funny. Wasn't he in Grown Ups?
He was in Grown Ups too.
You love that movie.
I love Grown Ups 1,
I love that distinction.
and I was okay with Grown Ups 2. It was a very loosely related story. Anyway, Stone
back
Cold
to,
was in
yeah,
it.
back
Yeah.
to Stone Cold and wrestling.
Stone Cold was in it. He was funny, but he has an acting career. He was in Expendables 1, of course, but he just doesn't have the career that The Rock has.
Because his head was like a thumb. That's all I really remember.
Goes on for days. Forehead.
No neck.
No
Because he had
neck.
it
No,
jammed
because he
into
had
his
like
body.
the double. He had like a little stubble there. And
But
he
he was
He had a
big.
vest.
Dents in his
But yeah, he
skull
was big.
from smashing cans against his head constantly.
Stone Cold's one of the reasons that
like a
WCW went out of
conehead.
business because of his popularity.
But I remember, I used to watch wrestling back in those days. I mean, I remember Mick Foley came back, and he was.
Yeah,
I
that-
remember watching him when he was commissioner.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was always fun. I mean, but as far as like, I can't remember any specific matches. That
Well, I remember the. Well, it was the. I think it ended up being like a cage match, and all the McMahons had like a different wrestler. That
Oh no, that was
being
WrestleMania
put in.
2000, and
Yeah.
it was the Big Show, The
Yeah.
Rock, Mankind, and
But he was just
and
Mick
Triple
Foley
H.
at that point, right? He was just Mick Foley.
yeah, he was just Mick Foley.
Yeah, Triple H.
Every McMahon had their own, and you know what? That's the worst WrestleMania of all time. That is one of my least favorite WrestleManias ever, and I'm talking about even in front of WrestleMania 1 and 2, which were shitty by by today's standards. But yeah, 2000 WrestleMania was bad.
For some reason, I
So does the
can't
video
think of
game.
now.
No, the video game was good.
I was really into the Undertaker when he was the American Badass.
Oh, Jesus.
You really,
You're the only
you were into
one.
him. What, at that point? Because that was like,
Don't know.
Keep rolling, rolling, rolling.
'Cause that was
rolling.
bad.
That was when
I
Kane
knew that
came
was
back
bad,
and
like-
he didn't know. It was like, is this my real brother?
Kane!
because what's going on with Kane right now?
Kane is actually demasked again, but
Uh-huh.
he wears a suit,
What?
and he's part of the corporation. Like it's called the Authority.
He sold out.
Yeah, so he's sold out, and
Ugh.
he's like a monotone character that
You're
your
gonna
cat
look
is going
on-
crazy in the background.
Yeah, I hear you, cat.
But what'd you say, Rob?
Well, are they going to do a Spider-Man thing where everyone forgets what he looks like?
Well, that's the thing. Like 5 or 6 years ago, he demasked.
Yeah,
And he
yeah.
was that way until 2 years ago, and he put the mask back on, and then for some reason he demasked again.
Yeah, I mean, I like the mask. I mean, that's what wrestling's the fun part is that they're all just these goofy characters, and
Yeah.
when they start changing, it's like you said, going back to the writing, it's like that is a thing, but it's funny when you see these people pick out their personas,
Yeah.
and then when they flip them, it's always jarring. I mean,
Well, the funny thing about Kane is, everybody talks about The Undertaker being there for so long. He's the ring general. He's the guy everybody looks up to. But Kane also is, too, because he's been in the WWE for probably 20 years now.
Yeah.
Because before he became Kane back in 97, he had gone through so many different gimmicks. They just liked his build. He's a big dude, but they just didn't know how to properly use him until 97. So before that, they had him as Isaac Yankem, DDS.
what?
He was a wrestler who was a dentist. He was the crazy dentist. Then also,
Find a video on
Yeah, you had
that.
the big shiny thing on it.
yeah,
Right.
and he had
What?
curly blonde hair. And then whenever Kevin Nash and Scott Hall left the WWF, they didn't have Diesel and Razor Ramon anymore. So Kane came out as the fake Diesel. They tried to play it off like Diesel was still there, as if people wouldn't notice that he looked completely different. And so they just did not know what to
Dentist
do with
Kane.
him.
The dentist.
That's crazy. I have to look that up.
And then finally, they came up with the storyline of Undertaker has a brother, and Glenn Jacobs, which is Kane's real name, fit the profile of someone that could possibly be an Undertaker brother, like a huge dude who's actually bigger than the Undertaker, and they brought him out, and they made him look like a Michael Myers as a
Yeah.
pro wrestler,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it worked. I mean,
Yeah, it worked.
What-
That part worked.
2007, so it's going on almost 20 years of that character.
God, jeez.
And that's longevity. That's
Man, his osteoporosis must be acting up by now.
she's got something.
It's gonna be,
At a certain point, he's going to
his
be like.
bones it's gonna be like elephant bones. It's gonna be breaking. They're just gonna fall apart.
Well, think about the Undertaker. Undertaker's been
Yeah.
there for more than 20 years, so it's like
I need to call the Undertaker.
he's got a schedule where he wrestles once.
Wow.
Undertaker wrestled. That was lame.
Yeah,
Undertaker
that was. Not as lame as American Badass, but
wrestles one day a year now. And that's always WrestleMania. They never make him wrestle. First of all, a couple years ago, he said to them, he was like, I'm not going to work Mondays. I only work Thursdays or Fridays. So Undertaker became exclusive to SmackDown. Then he was like, I'm semi-retired. I'll wrestle once a year. And that's WrestleMania. And that's the perfect schedule for anybody to have. I know a lot
Is that
about
Conan the
wrestling.
Barbarian?
It's Kid Rock.
Kid Rock.
Oh,
Or Undertaker.
I thought that was the White Ghost, like Raj Al Ghul's. Or, you know, whatever he is. Anyway, so Michael, so what was your favorite? That WrestleMania?
I guess.
The
That was the only
worst
one I ever watched.
WrestleMania event ever?
I enjoyed when that old lady gave birth to that hand.
Fabulous Moolah.
I think that was like the time I just like gave up. I was like, I'm not watching this
So you're
anymore.
talking about Mark Henry,
Mark Henry,
the
yeah.
world's strongest man,
Yeah.
had a relationship
Yeah,
with
with,
the fabulous Moolah, who was...
She gave birth to a dripping like
Or Mae Young. No, it was Mae Young.
Mae Young. It was Mae Young.
Yeah, she was like an 80-year-old woman, and so the gag was he impregnated her, and she gave birth to just a hand.
The hand, and it was like this rubber hand that was just dripping like with like fucking like juice.
It was so disgusting. But
Oh my God.
this is the funny thing. They had
Talk about writers.
yeah. Well, last year they had Raw, like the 1000th episode of Raw, and they brought it back. They referenced it again, and what happened was she was in the back with Mark Henry, and the hand walks in, and the hand is grown up. It's a guy in a hand suit. Yeah,
no.
a guy in a hand suit. And he's like, "Hey, Daddy!" And it was
Jeez.
funny. But
Wow.
yeah, wrestling is retarded.
I don't even.
Why is
What?
this the podcast I decided to talk?
I don't know. Yeah, you were silent for the last two, and for some reason you perked up when we said hands coming out of vaginas.
Yeah. Not going in, but coming out. It's-
Yeah, this is not an X-rated one. They're coming out. They're going in. But
I would draw that, but
you got to give us another one. That's technically not a wrestling world title match.
yeah, matches. I mean, I can't even. See, I'm not that fluent. I mean, you know, I remember like some of the greats. I mean,
Like that one, and then that other one.
the other one and then that one. But I mean, really, during that time, I mean, because I grew up, you know, not having a lot of money, so it's not like I never watched like the big events. I never watched pay-per-view. I've never seen like an actual match. So I was like, never got to see the good stuff. I would watch like the Monday nights or whatever, you know, and
Yeah.
Raw would come on, and it was like, eh. And then, you know, just stupid shit like that.
What a pathetic piece of shit you are.
Yeah. I have nothing.
No, I get. Yeah. I didn't buy a lot of them either. I would tape trade back in the day before DVDs and the internet got huge. I would find people on old school message boards that had these old VHS tapes of ECW events or old WCW events, and I would tell them what I had to offer, and they would say, "Hey, well, give me, you know, fully loaded $19.99, and I'll send you ECW House Party '97."
Sounds like the worst porn ever.
It was. I remember one time.
These message boards are still on the internet somewhere.
I used to subscribe to WWE magazine, and I remember I was riding in the car with my dad one day, and we checked our mail, and my WWE magazine had come in, and I was really excited about it. And then also in the mail was a Victoria's Secret catalog. I grabbed the WWE magazine. Oh, nice! And my dad was like, you know, you should probably be more excited about the Victoria's Secret. And that's when I turned to him stone cold, and I said, "Fuck you, Dad."
Oh.
And
That wraps this up.
yeah, that pretty much does wrap up this episode of Drawing with Drew.
Fuck you.
Dad.
If by any chance this
Not my
airs,
dad, but
Yeah.
this airs before
His dad.
tonight's event, which is WWE's TLC, Tables, Ladders, and Chairs, you should check it out with the unification match.
Yeah, check it out.
But I can't imagine any way, shape, or form that this will be on the internet tonight. But anyway, you should check us out online.
check out your you do some wrestling videos.
I do wrestling videos. We just put up a video of us doing our favorite impersonations. Which hey, let's go around and everybody do their best impersonation of their favorite wrestler. Drew.
I don't even know. I'm just gonna be copying the ones that I saw that you did.
We'll do it.
Like, yeah. I'm just gonna draw this out.
Anybody?
Yeah.
That's about right. That's like Isaac Yankum's.
No, I mean, my favorite thing, and I think all wrestling, was the Bronco Buster, but that's not really a catchphrase.
You got anything, Mike?
All right, Bronco Buster.
But the worm, that was fun.
Yeah,
Sky 200.
that's what I was.
You guys like the worst things about
The
wrestling.
worst thing, yeah, no, exactly.
All
right, never mind.
Too hot.
We're gonna end
Can
this
we
right
talk?
now. We're gonna end
He's
this
got
right
that look in his eye. He's
wrote-
got that spring in his step.
now. You got one?
Yeah.
All right, well, go ahead.
Oh, Rob's got impressions up his ass.
Can you smell what the Rob is cooking?
See what the Rob is cooking?
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
it's ribs. He's cooking ribs.
All
I
right,
wish you guys could smell it. It's pretty delicious.
Chamber 525
Watch Cody's videos.
on YouTube.
They're fun.
Insert name here 85 on YouTube. Until next time, have a good one.
Bye.
It was a cunnilingus reference.
Where?